How you doing? Ralfy here, Ralfy Customs. We're going to have a bit of a mash-up vlog kind of video, I reckon. Let's see what we're on with. Right, first up, couple of elephants in the room. First off being my fucking Golf, look. So, if you know these Mark IV Golfs, in order to take the service light out, you have to do a reset with the clocks, with a tripometer and the clock, the time clock knob. So I've tried that, it didn't work. I've took the clocks out to try and fix them, put them back in, and the immobilizers come on, right? So this was days and days ago, and I'm waiting for the locksmith. I've had to get a locksmith out, and he can't fucking fix it. He's had to take the clocks away and the key away. No key, no clocks, no fuck all, dead in the water. And I'm hoping he comes back today with everything reprogrammed and working as it fucking should. So that's dead in the fucking water. Happy days. And then Harry the bastard, bless him. There's photos on my socials. He's under this shroud, look. So here he is in all his fucking glory. Harry the bastard, so that went fucking kabang, and I've ended up taking Harry the bastard home and fucking almost getting knocked off on the way home and fucking this right up, in that right back here, snapping off the gear change and damaging the primaries right underneath that you can't see, but there's a few scratches on here on the outside. We've bent that back in place, we've welded a new stud in the end of that, we've fixed all that, polished this peg up that got battered. And I got battered, but we ended up grass virgining, so no skin off and no bones broken. Harry the bastard is back on the road. The damage under there, look, can be repaired in the winter. Needs rechroming and fucking about with, so that's that. We've got our Carl's Iron-X Sportster, which I'm going to get to. I need to make an adapter plate. Right, this is what we're on with. We need to make a swing arm, twin rail swing arm, using this existing swing arm as a bit of a template, but we need to fit V-rod wheels, yeah? So we've got to work out a way of making a adapter that fits to the wheel that takes the sprocket for the Sportster with the offset sprocket and lines the chain up, and then we can work the width of the swing arm out, and we can go from there. So that in itself is a bit of an engineering feat. On the other side of that wheel, we've got to make a caliper carrier to take the caliper and space it out evenly in the swing arm. But before I can do that, we need to get on to the Zephyr because Harry the bastard was off the road, the car was off the road. We've got the beloved mighty Zephyr 1100 out, and we've taken it for MOT. And the only problem we've got is it's an advisory is that the rear caliper is sticking a bit. So this morning we're going to free up that rear caliper before we start working an engineering solution out for the swing arm job on the Sportster frame. So that's what we're on with now. So we're going to crack these fucking bolts and have this caliper off. Oh, that doesn't belong anymore, look. It's the joy of using impacts on these little sockets that take the drivers is that you end up fucking up the ball that holds it all together, like that keeps the tool in place, and then you end up dropping the tool down in the fucking bowels of an engine when you're working on it. I've not done that, but that's what happens. So first things first, we're going to have the caliper off his mounts, and I'm hoping that the hose gives us enough to play with when it comes to getting it off and out of the way. Here we go, and upside down. So what I'll do is work out the best way to get these fucking pads out. let's have a look then. So it's not the fucking easiest. I might end up taking those off and doing it on the bench, but what I'd really like to do is get the pads out, and then I can work the pistons out a bit and clean them up, push them back in, out, clean them up, give them a bit of spray lube, and everyone's a winner. And then that'll be good. So I'm just gonna get a bar in and try and lever this apart, try and push them pistons back in, lever it apart, so it gives us a bit of room to play with. Now I'm fucking tired. And okay, now there you go, and back she goes, no dramas. Let's have a fuck about. Let's push these fucking, they should go in, they should push in to the body so that I can get this pad out. That hanger should fucking, put that on there and push. Will it go? No, there's no room for that, is there, Ralfy? There we go, give it a squeeze. There goes one. The one that we didn't want to drop out has dropped out, and it's not quite giving us enough room to get the other pad out. So let's give it a little bit more. Come on, baby. Come on, just a bit more. Okay, now. There we go. So they need a bit of lube on the pins, and then we've got the pistons. We should be able to push the back brake and pump them out. That one's moving lovely, that one not so much, in fact not at all. So what we'll do, we'll give it a good go with the brake cleaner, like so, and then we'll get the airline on it. I'm going to fetch the airline on it, and hopefully if we can work that back in, like that, we'll push that back in, and we'll hold that, we'll wedge that in a groin that you can't see, or you might be able to see, and try and pump the other one out. Yeah, come on, we're hitting that fucking shim. Back in with that, go on you bastard, get back in there, come on. Get that shim press in. Get that wedged in there again. It don't take much, it just needs to have enough force to hold that and make that one move. So that one's dead free now, that little one. The big one's the one there. That's proper out. I'll give that a bit of a brake clean. Get all the detritus off it and go from there. Right, so we've sprayed it with a brake cleaner and we sprayed it with a LGT85, good shit. Obviously if it was a show bike we wouldn't be doing it on him, or we'd wrap it in cloth or something, because I'm like using that to fucking hold it in place. But we're not too bothered about that on the old fucking grunter like. That piston is free up. Let's see how easily it presses back in. And the verdict is quite easily actually. That's not too bad. Could be a bit easier. We will rinse and repeat that a few times. Look, come on, jam that in. Make sure that shim misses. And give it a few pumps out and press it back in again. That ain't too bad. That's not too bad. I think I've done it. I think with a bit of lube on the pins, then it's just a simple case, taking it off, working the pistons in and out a few times, make sure they're nice and clean, give them a spray of lube if needs be, just to get things moving nicely, and hopefully that'll free up wonderfully. Failing that, we'll have to just strip it down. We'll have to pop them right out, take it off the bike, put the airline on where the brake connector goes, blow them out, put a wedge in here, blow that one out, get it nearly out before you take it apart. and then finish the job with the airline. Take the pistons out, clean them up, lube the seals or reseal, put it all back together. Don't want to get into that. I just want to have a quick fucking 10-minute fix, which is what we're about on with now. So let's see if we can get the lid off the fucking copper slip. Let's just use an over the top fucking lever to get the lid off the copper slip and give those pins a bit of a lube up. Yeah. A bit of anti-seize on the pins. We've got to be careful with lube around here, ain't we? Because we don't want it fucking getting warm and going on the disc. That'd be a no-no. Right, get our shit off there, look, because we do care. And now, that pad's not fucking great, Ralfy. That's got a bit of detritus. There's a bit of damage to that pad. I'm not sure what's gone on there. Maybe it's where it's sticking, it's fucking scraped it up a bit. Look at getting a new set sooner rather than later. Put them on the right way around. That'd certainly help. Right. So that goes in there like that. This one goes in. Yeah, nothing like that. Goes in there. Come on, don't be a cunt. Get in there, and then the whole lot flips over and drops onto the disc, like so. So, with that pumpy and lube, we all need a bit of pumpy and lube sometimes, don't we? We should have got this about right. We'll get the bolts back in. There's a little bit of copper slip on. Hold on. Get the bolts back in. Like so. That one in there. That one in there. Come on. If we can, that's a bit of a bastard. There we go. That one in there. Get them done up. And then we'll get Jack on the job, get the back wheel off because we don't have a centre stand because this stainless exhaust system that somebody made don't fit. It weren't me. Don't fit the centre stand right. You can't run a centre stand without exhaust. There you go, there's that tool staying behind. Imagine if you were struggling to get on the fixing down the side of an engine in a car and you went to remove your tool and it left the end stuck in. That'd be a lesson. Ideal. Right, I'll get a little trolley jack underneath somewhere and get this jacked up so we can spin the wheel and work the brake and see what's what. Right, so with it trolley jack under some, that's running nice and free and the brakes are coming on. It's free enough, give it loads up. Free as a fucking bird. So that should be happy days. I've checked the reservoir that you can't see up here off camera. Everything's alright. I've recently put a disc and pads in it. So I bled it through with new brake fluid and that is fucking great. It does remind me actually that when we fell off the shovel head, I don't know, I'm touching this just so you're not staring. Oh, you can see me. Look. So when I ditched the shovel head, I slammed my anchors on, locked the back end up, and nowhere to go on a single track country lane, and I think the front brakes could have worked a bit better, so I'm going to bleed them up as well while I'm at it. To be fair, if I'd put them on hard, I would have ditched it proper because it's gravelly like. So that probably saved me a bit, but we need to address that. Anyway, we've done that, look. That's fucking locks up, free as a bird. The only problem is that there's that little travel on the lever that the brake light don't come on when it should. So I've got to get right underneath there, now it's cooled off, to the switch, which is proper hidden up here. Try and adjust that out a little bit so the back brake light comes on without me having to brake hard. But that is one little job, little 10-minute bit of maintenance, just to keep the old fucking commuter in fine fettle.
Don't forget folks, our Fuckstock stickers are now available in our Etsy store, link in the description below. Fuckstock, you know it makes sense.
Right, quick update. Sam the man, Lock Doctor Leicester, has just come back. And I don't know where my fucking tool is. What's he done with my tool? Anyway, we're in. We're on. Service now still on. The problem is that this button don't work to clear the odometer, which is how you have to get into the sequence to clear that service light. If anyone's got a VADCOM. Anyway, here we go. Fucking look at that, happy days. The only light that's on is the brake, the handbrake light. I've just put the foot brake on and take that off. Doors open. Once we're a winner. I've set the clock and we live again. I'm so fucking pleased. Right, so back onto this. What I need to work out is the offset of the front sprocket, which is 1.5 inches because it's here. Look, I can measure it. So from that back edge to the outside is 1.5 inches, and then we can straight edge that through and see where it comes in relation to the swing arm. So then we'll have rear sprocket in from the swing arm. Yeah, will give us a figure where the chain needs to run, and then we're going to work out where that sits in the middle of this setup. Yeah, in the middle of the rear wheel setup, so we can see how far out or in. It can't come in because it's going to clout the tyre. How far out this sprocket needs to go. So if anyone's got 1 7/8 inch fucking impact socket, if you want to pop it round like, we'll have that off. I can't do it until I fit this because I need to get a proper straight edge and a proper measure. So I've ordered in a fucking socket. I ain't got one that big. It's the next size up from my biggest one. Would you believe it? The week I'm having, yes you fucking would. When that comes, we'll crack on. Quick update. I've come to leave and I've got one last go with my hand scanner to clear the original fault. Ooh. And I fucking have. I've done it. No service fucking now warning comes up. So there you go. Here we are, 5 days later. We're back where we were and we got rid of the service light. Who knew? Righto, so while we're waiting for the socket to come, we're gonna divert onto our Dave's Featherbed frame. Look, this has come in. A few little jobs on this one. This needs replacing. He's bought one in that's been prefabricated. I'm not sure why this is being replaced. I think it's because it's a bit gnarly. Looks like someone's done a job on it. Sorry, I'm not showing you very well. It's a bit chewed up here, like it looks like someone's done a number on it at some stage. But he's kindly bought a replacement in. He wants that replacing with that. So that's one job, yeah. There's a few brackets and bits and bobs to clean off it. The most interesting repair is arguably, I'll show you the next one so you can make your mind up, is that these, they're oversized, look. The old fucking swing arm flops about, so we've got to bush them out. We've got some holes to weld up, and then we've got to look at this bottom tube that somebody has kindly butchered in there. It's a bit rough. It don't fit properly. It's wider here and it's all a bit wrong. So we're going to see about spragging across and chopping it out and putting a new bit in, but we need to avoid the braze unless I braze the new one in, which I may well do. May well fucking do. Or silicon bronze it with a TIG light, not sure. I think that's it. I'll have to check my sheet. So tank mount, swing arm pivot, clean off a few brackets like this one, and a few other bits and bobs, weld up some holes and do that frame tube. So I'm going to crack on with this while I'm waiting for delivery of that socket. Fuck about, that was difficult, harder than it looked on the photo. We've cleaned up these ready for fixing, these ready for plugging. And we've taken this tube out and given all that a good fettle. The problem is this powder coating's really hard to strip off, and I need it off to be welding and sorting out. These jobs really need shop blasting before they get to me. But hey, you know, it is what it is. What I'm going to do now then is measure 6 5/8 forward and trim up this little bar that I'm hoping is a bit too long. Yeah, it is. Look, it's a bit too long. Lives in there somewhere with them going straight up. We'll trim equal parts off both ends so we can keep it nice and fucking central. Righto, with that all cleaned up and trimmed up and levelled up and in place, we will get some Megatronic round it and get that welded in. Fortunately there's no brazed joints there, so that's not an issue, and then we'll go on to sorting the holes out in these side plates, which will be a little more interesting. Righto, with those in, look, here we go, with that in, not those in, those welded, that in, we're moving on to these holes. What I do, old trick, you can use any non-ferrous, so I've got aluminium, you could use brass, you could use bronze if you're a fucking wealthy like, as we all are. We back it with a non-ferrous, this aluminium in this case, and the weld won't weld to that, yeah, the steel welding rod and the parent metal won't weld to the aluminium. So basically, I hate that filler word, we're going to fill that hole full of weld and it'll leave it with a pretty flush. This will end up pretty flush. Maybe have a few pinholes in it. Well, it will have a few pinholes because of the aluminium gassing and fucking the environment that you're doing it in, like, you know. But it's a really good fucking start. So I'll plug that up, flip it over, put this block on that side and do the same that side. So there you go. That is one disappeared hole. It was there somewhere there. On the back side, because it's quite thick, I've done my best not to fully penetrate. So we've left ourselves a shallow depression that we'll weld up. I'm worried about this bit of powder coat in that top corner. I really struggle to get that out, but it'll burn out. We'll get that welded up and flushed off. We'll get that welded up and flushed off using the same technique, and then we'll look at these bushes. These, I've got to make something to go in there, and I might take those holes out bigger before I do. Righto, okie fucking dokie. Now then, we've cleaned them out with a 16mm drill bit. They were nearly 16mm, so it didn't take much. And we've done we've done a sketch. I'm going to make some little top hats, look, not trip over the airline. I've got a little flange, little 3mm flange that's going to go on the outside. I'm sure there's enough length, fucking hell, we've done some today, haven't we? Unware Mrs. Matron. Enough length on the spindle to accommodate 1/4 of an inch, and they're going to poke through 6mm, but then we'll sand them off smooth like. And they have got an 1/2 inch hole through the middle, which I'll probably have to bore with a boring tool, because I don't have a ream, 1/2 inch ream. I don't have any imperial reams. Anyway, that's 16mm outside to press in that plate, 24mm outside to give us a top hat to TIG round, 1/2 inch bore. Happy fucking days. So we've chucked up a bit of 25mm mild steel, and we've touched on, I'm going to set this down to 24, which is about there. This OD is not critical, so we'll do a quick test cut. That looks a bit rough, doesn't it? Finish looks a bit rough there, Ralphy. Why aren't we? You need to turn your tip round. You need to increase your feed. I think you do. Hold on. There we go. Right, we'll have a measure. My DRO saying 23.98 and we're 24. So we'll take that as a 24.04. Enter. Right. And we'll touch on the face. Zero that, and we want 24 for each part. Is I've decided to go a bit longer on the skinny bit. We're going to hold that in a collet on the mighty Atlas to bore it out, because I think that's the most accurate way I've got of making it fit the spindle. Although again, the tolerances are pretty good, like, so we're not that bothered. Anyway, let's have a light skin pass over that. And each one's 15mm long, plus the cut is 18mm. So we only need to go 36mm or get both of them out of there. So we'll whiz that along. The finish has not improved. I've turned my tip round. Anyway, there we go, that gives us plenty. Right, bear with. Alright, let's see how that goes. I mean, the finish ain't critical, you're not going to see any of it, right? It's all going to be welded in, but we have standards, dear boy. We do have standards. Right, let's come along. We want this down to 16mm and we're on 24. So we'll take 3mm off at a time and we'll go down to 12mm, which should take us a little somewhere. Come on, baby. 11. Most of this is going bye-byes, but we need something to grab hold of. Like I say, there's 12. And then we'll go 18. 18.5, and then we'll go to the 16, and we will be happy fucking days. Come on, 16 is there. Get rid of that, like that, down to that 12mm shoulder, not crucial. We'll measure off that. Let me just change my tooling and just give that a little chamfer. Right, so I'll break this top edge. I want to leave it pretty square to the TIG welding, and that's jolly good. So now we'll whack a pilot hole in. The smallest boring bar I've got needs at least 10mm, which is good because we want 12mm. Yeah, so we'll pilot it on this. Sorry, we want 12.5mm off in, so we'll pilot this at 11.5, and that'll leave us a millimetre to take out, like with the boring bar. So that's what I lube, because that's what separates us from those animals. First time in this video. And we'll send the 11.5 in. We need to go about 36mm deep for this, so you can join me once that is done. With that drilled through 11.5mm, we're just going to part it off, so that's that. We'll touch off there, 0, and we want 3mm for the part, plus 3mm for the tool, plus a facing cut, so I'll work that out to be 6.25. Which is, come on, there, come on baby. I'll just lock off me saddle, come on, and away she goes. Smoky one, eh? Isn't it? Blimey. Come on, there we go, boosh. Right. We'll make the other one, we'll rough the other one out, same as this, not rough, we'll fucking machine the other one out, you dickhead Ralfy, and then we'll spin them around and face them up, ready to go over to Mighty Atlas. So, last operation on the Harrison is face these off, so we'll just touch on, get a touch on, come out, then move in 0.25, come on, which is there. Which is not there, bear with. 0.25, which is there. And send it. That'll finish them off nice. I'll break that edge Hold on, check that through. Cheers then, thanks for coming. Now gently break that edge. Gently break that edge. Watching my thumb on the tool, that went clever. And that's that. Not sure what, good. So, they need boring out now. I'll do the other one the same, face the other one off, and then they need boring out 2 1/2 inch to take the spindle, but we'll go over to the Atlas for that. I must have said Atlas 100 times in this fucking video. Follow along. Welcome friends. You join me at the mighty Atlas, where we've put this in the collet chuck. I've just added this. It's made for a Boxford, but it's the same 1.5" V8 thread on this. It was a little tight winding it on, and a bit of a cunt to level up. You have to get about right and then indicate off the taper. I put a bit of drill rod in a collet in the end, and then tighten these up after you've tapped it through. It took me ages. Anyway, we've got that chucked up. We've got a little boring bar in, and I'm just going to touch on about, come on, about like that, and give it a tiny little cut. We know we've got about 1 millimetre to come out, haven't we? So about 40 thou. I'm just zeroing my dial down here that you can't, no, you can't see. So we'll zero a dial. We'll take a cut. Don't need lube, I don't think, at this stage. We'll take a cut, and we'll wish that we'd marked 1/2 inch. Sorry, the depth of the part on this boring bar. I've not checked that. Hopefully we'll have enough length to get us where we need to go. So we'll take a light cut, we'll have a measure and see what's what. Alright, let's have a look. I ended up taking a slightly deeper cut and realising that the part's quite short, so I don't need to worry about a stick out on the boring bar. We have got 4.4. We're on 500 thou, and we've got 467. 400. We'll call it 470 because we can always take a bit more out. We can't add a bit. So 470. We want 30 thou out of that hole, don't we? So we're going to go a 10 and a 5, I reckon. So that's 10 thou. And we'll send it. It's not quick, but we don't need to be, so we're nice and steady away. We'll run this through, and then we'll have another measure, and then we'll look at the final pass. Right, we're right close. We're just at, fucking hell, there's nothing in it. I'm just going to lube up and do a spring pass without adding any on. That last cut got us about there. And then what I'll do, if it fits, I'll zero my dial that you can't see. So on the next one, I know when I'm up to 0, I should be bang on. Because obviously we don't have a digital readout on this old tail light. So we're riding the dials. I'll send that all the way down, have it out, and try the sprinkler. And we're there, look. That's bob on, that is. It's a nice fit. It scraped a bit. It scraped it clean there, although I broke the edge. There's a little bit of lube on here. That'll do nicely. So I broke the edge. Let's get it out. There's a bit of spring in this collet because we're, oh fucking hell, that's hard work. Because we're kind of between, there we go, boosh, kind of between sizes with a 16mm. I'll give that a quick deburt. And Bob's your answer. Look at that shiny oily lens. We've got soft focus going on, boys. Sorry about that. Things get a bit greasy. Right, we're just on the second one now, doing that pass at 0. I've moved you in a little bit closer so you can see a bit better, but there's not a lot of room. I'm not proper set up for recording on the Atlas, am I? I'll have to look into that. We'll put a bracket on the wall and get a holder, I think. You're on a tripod at the minute, and it's hard work fucking getting it in. Anyway, hard work getting it in. It never ends, does it? Fuck me. So that's that. Through to there. We'll wind that away from the job. Have it out. Straighten that edge. And again, I'll give it a check, but we should be tickety fucking do. So we got them squeezed in with a spindle. Used the spindle to fit them. They went together really well. It can't help but be in line, you know. Everything looks great, everything looks cool. So what I'll do, I'll lay it on its side. And we'll just get a couple of tacks with a TIG. Top and bottom, or left and right, or whatever. Just to hold them in place. And then we'll get the sander in and we'll clean off the protruding bit and give it a deburr. And we've made some little top hats to shim out those 2 big holes, and we've tucked them in so they don't get lost like, and they'll act as washers for the spindle if needs be. I'm pleased with that, they'll come out lovely. And there we have it, look. Mrs. Tiggy Winkle has worked her magic. I'll clean them off camera on the inside, sand them smooth. I won't bother ticking round them because I'd have to sand that off, and I might get into the inner hole with it, like, 'cause it's well, it's not needed, it's not necessary, is it? That's fucking happy days, that is. So we're halfway there with this. Yeah, so I'm going to call it at that. It's long enough, this video. If you like what you see, follow along, give us a sub, give us a thumbs up, check out all the bump in the description below. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you on the next one. Big love, see you soon.